Imagine this scenario. You're walking down the roads of your city, and the traffic light becomes red. You'll have to wait to cross the road. Oh, let me check my phone, because I might have to wait 10 seconds to cross the road. I might get mildly uncomfortable not having any stimulus. So yeah, let me get some dopamine. I really can't survive 10 seconds if I'm not entertained by a screen. When we're bored, we activate our DMN, our default mode network. Medically, it's called the medial frontoparietal network. It is a large-scale brain network active when a person is not focused on the outside world. When our DMN is active, our brain is in a wakeful rest and our mind is wandering. So it is active when related to external thoughts, for example, thinking about ourselves, past experiences, or future expectations. Now, studies have shown that our DMN activates a fraction of a second after we complete a task. What does this mean, though? That our mind begins wandering as soon as we accomplish what we were supposed to do. The DMN is closely related to anxiety, depression, and obsessions. So the more it is active in our brain, the more we are likely to develop these symptoms. Meaning that if we never give ourselves challenges, goals, or achievements to reach, our DMN will be very active and we will be more likely to develop, again, depression or anxiety. To put it simply, if we don't challenge ourselves, if we don't set goals, our DMN will be active and we will be more likely to be depressed. But how are socials related to this? Chances are that when you're bored, you instantly pick your phone from your pocket, open Instagram or TikTok, start scrolling, and get entertained. But the problem is that when we get purely entertained, our DMN goes crazy and we start watching time go by passively. So let's say you get bored and you get this stimulus to be entertained, but you do nothing about it. You sit there watching your wall or your ceiling. What happens is that when you're bored, your brain starts thinking about anything that could make you interested and entertained. So your brain is actively working to entertain you. And it's exactly in this moment that the real purpose of boredom gets into action, because boredom brings you to ask big questions about your life, yourself, what goals you want to achieve. You start searching for your purpose and your mission. By doing so, you start to be ambitious, setting goals, and we can say, in a certain way, that being bored helps fight depression. Look at this graph. From around 2012, casually, when socials started to get big and popular, students started reporting more frequent depression symptoms. Why? Well, because they were always entertained. They stopped being ambitious. They stopped setting goals. They stopped wanting to achieve something in their life, and therefore they stopped being bored, because they were continuously watching something else. And all this transformed into being anxious, depressed, and weak. Look at this other graph. As the years go on, depression symptoms get worse and worse. The world offers us more entertainment, and the more we consume it, the more we get depressed, the more we feel lost. In 9 years, the percentage of people who are depressed more than doubled. And now that's really an interesting fact for me, because it means that people don't find meaning to their life anymore. And now I want to ask you this question. Do you think people in the 17th century were depressed? Well, of course someone was, for a series of reasons, but I strongly believe it was not 20% of the population. It was way less. And in my opinion, this is because they didn't have socials. They were not continuously entertained. They had to work, they had to produce, they had to do something in their life in order to survive. They didn't spend entire days on their bed watching TV, eating chips, and scrolling on TikTok while drinking soda. So they had goals to reach, and they lived their life in order to fulfill those goals. Now, this could be also applied to a farmer who had to wake up at 5 a.m. every day in the snow or in the heat to feed his pigs. But still, he had goals to reach. He really did not have time to be entertained, and therefore he had less time to be depressed. Maybe I sounded too exaggerate or harsh with my opinions. So socials for me are a big actor of this rising phenomenon of depression. So if you want to learn how to quit socials and why you should, I recommend you watch my last videos on the channel. They talk exactly about how to quit socials. And I hope you enjoyed the video. See you in the next one.